I wanted to start at this window here because I think it's kind of reflective of the season we had last year, and it's definitely reflective of the season we're going to have this year. The summer transfer window was bloody, in a word. As you can see at the end of it, Man City, who I believe are now coached by Jurgen Klopp because Guardiola's stepped down and is now at Liverpool. The circle of football life continues, is spending 5.5 times as much as we are. Total payroll is 1.1 million. And there's a big reason for that. Starting at the end of last season, before the new season even officially kicked in, we lost Jean-Philippe Mateta. Newcastle made an offer for him from $23.5 million, which was his release clause. I was in contract negotiations with him at the time. I started contract negotiations. Newcastle came and made the offer, and he left. Caden Rodney went to Bristol City for £48,000, and then Wolves made an unsolicited offer for Will Hughes, and he wanted to go, and I said sure, because I think I have better younger options coming in. And then this season got underway, and Steve Sessegnon left to Sevilla for $6.75 million. Yuri Pavlenka, who was upset he was left out of the national squad because he didn't get enough playing time here, even though he was on a backup contract, and he started cup games last year. I put him out there. Inter snapped him up for $2.7 million, so now he's a backup at Inter. Gethin Davey, who was a youth player, went to AFC Wimbledon, and then Jack Wells Morrison, who was a midfielder who never was going to crack the starting lineup here, went to Reading for $105,000. Then out of nowhere, Man United came in, made Altay Bayandar an offer for $49.5 million, which was his release fee, and he absolutely jumped all over it. And then West Ham came in and made an offer for Tyreek Mitchell for $29.5 million. He really wanted to go, and I was okay letting him go because I have Teo Adamirola waiting in the wings, pun not intended, to take his spot. So between the end of last season and this season, we sold probably £140 million worth of players. We haven't been very big spenders. Our biggest spend this season was Alejandro Iturbe, who I had my eyes on last season. He was shortlisted for me. I took him off when I was able to sign him. He was the second keeper at Atletico Madrid. He's 19 years old. My scout in that part of Europe found him. I'm always on the lookout for a good young keeper who can definitely improve, and he's 2-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, possibly 5-star potential ability. He will get starts this season. He's my domestic cup goalkeeper. That's one of the reasons I was able to sign him, was because he had other teams coming after him, and they were all offering him hot prospect contracts. I said, you can be my domestic cup goalkeeper. That is because I brought in Oliver Baumann to be my primary backup when Pavlenka left. He's older. He's 2.5-star current ability, 2.5-star potential ability. He's adequate, but I think what's going to end up happening is he and Iturbe are going to be switching off throughout most of the season. What I'm hoping is going to happen is for the first few weeks, they'll switch back and forth. Then Iturbe will settle down and make the job his. That is what I would like to see happen. If that's possible, I don't know. Turbe's got a lot of growing to do, especially in terms of shot stopping and things like that. That's one of the things we're going to be spending a lot of time training him on. But Turbe's definitely got the look about him of being a good keeper. Maybe as good as Bander, but... And then Yari Verschaeren was at Anderlecht, didn't sign a new contract with them, so they put him out there. We got him for $7 million. He is a jack of all trades, master of none on the attacking side of the field, and I'm quite comfortable having him in here. I can put him on the bench and know that he is a capable starter in one of many positions. And then if we go back to the end of last season on the ends, Andy Stockbridge is a young English player who is a midfielder. He is a ball-winning midfielder at heart. He is 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability, capped at the under-19 level for England. He's 18 years old. I asked Derby what they said they wanted for him, and they said he's not for sale at any price. And I went to his agent. He said Derby would be willing to let him go for $7.5 million. I gave Derby an offer of $7.5 million. They snapped it up. Now he's on our squad, and he's already valued at $31 to $47 million. He will be getting starts this season. And then the last person we brought in was Odilon Kasunu from Bayer for $12.25 million going to $14.25 million. He is a defensive center back, can also play defensive right back. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential ability, 22 years old. Here on a squad player contract. That's one of the big reasons I was able to sign him and bring him in, was because of the squad player contract. On the outs at the end of last season, Tariq Fusu went to Trabzonspor on loan, and then Jake Okeke, who is my young midfielder, is on loan at Stevenage. And then if we look at the entirety of this season, Tom Pierce and Solomon Aidu are at Coventry. Coventry is my new League One affiliate, and they are both there getting a decent amount of playing time at the moment. Arda Güler comes to us from Fenerbahce on a free. He was a youth player who for some reason they let go, and I'm not quite sure why. My scout in that region found him. He came up in the scouting reports, and he was one of those where it was end of contract. I made an offer for him, and I got him on a free, no problems. Physically speaking, he's okay. The jumping reach is what it is. I mean, he's 5'7". He's not a header, but what he is, he's an attacking midfielder and midfielder, which is probably where I'll play him and retrain him as a deep line playmaker. He's definitely got the skill set for it. He's already a nice dribbler. He's got decent first touch, good passing, very good technique, nice vision, good teamwork, good off the ball. So he is a very capable player. If he was a bit taller and maybe a bit heavier, I would train him to be on the wings. But for the moment, he's going to be part of the rotation in the midfield. Mathis Servais comes to us from Club Brugge, also on a free. He fits that mold. Another 18-year-old who wasn't retained by his team. He was capped by Belgium at the under-19 level. That's where I found him originally. He didn't get a work permit. I'm trying to get him out on loan. The expectation was, especially when I talked to his agent, was if we get him out on loan somewhere, he will qualify next season. And I've got him listed for loan. You know what? Let me double check something here. Transfer offer clubs. Loan offer. Make him a squad player and see what happens. So we're going to sort the outs just by their status. So David Omalabu, Tom Pierce, Solomon Aidu, and Arda Güler all went out on loan. Güler went to Notts County just because the more I looked at it and having just I realized I said it back here, he's going to be part of the midfield rotation. He is. It's just going to be at Notts County because I have a bunch of good young midfielders here, including the guy we brought in at the end of last season from Derby. Jaden Raymond is at Stevenage. Antonio Blanco is at Ipswich on loan. Thibaut de Smet is at Swansea on loan. Luka Milivojevic went to Swansea on a free. Gethin Davey went to Wimbledon. We talked about him. Morrison, Pavlenka, Sessegnon, Mitchell, and Bayandar. The Bayandar one hurt. That came out of the blue, out of nowhere. I didn't even think he was interested in leaving or going anywhere, and just was one of those cases where Man United made the offer for him, and because what they offered for him met his release fee, my technical director accepted the offer, no problem. Now, I did get Michael Elise to sign a new contract last season, and his release fee is £56 million. And I've had like 5 or 6 different teams, including some bigger ones like Roma and Sevilla, come in and make offers for him. Like, here's $30 million now and $20 million later. And it's like, look, unless the total value of his contract equals or exceeds £56 million, he's not leaving. And luckily, so far, he is not pitching a fit about it. Depth chart-wise, it's really a lot of potential. I mean, Edward and Pellegrini are capable. Verschaeren can play up there, but he's going to be more on the left, I think, spelling Eze. Perez was the young striker I brought in last season who has improved a little bit, but he's not on Mateta's level. If we look at the scale here, the one I really want to get playing time is Jordan Clark. He is my 17-year-old youth prospect who came in last year, and I would really ignore these. It's just FM being FM. I want to get him playing time. He had a very nice preseason for us. The plan right now is Pellegrini and Edward are going to be the starters. Clark is going to be on the bench and come in and spell either one of those, depending on how the game is going. So midfield is Seone, and then we still got Chowdhury here, and it says 13 more players, and they're not kidding. It's actually a lot of players. Odilon Kasunu is going to get some playing time there, probably. Andy Stockbridge is definitely going to get a ton of playing time there. Francisco is still here. And then Joe White who is here on a youngster contract. He came in on a free from Newcastle. Is just one of those potential guys. And then the defensive back line is going to be a rotation for the most part. And then same thing in goal. It's going to be Bauman and Iturbe switching on and off. So in looking at it, 6th place is a dream, I think. The players we left, the players who left were good players. The players who are replacing them have the potential to be good players. And they may reach that potential this season or come close to it this season. The question is, can we do well enough to stay up there? And so far, I'll be the first to admit, I'm not exactly enthused about it. We've played 2 games. The transfer window just ended, and the reason I'm stopping here is because it's the Euro Cup draw today, and we're playing Man City. No, we're playing United. No, we're playing City. We're playing City for sure. So preseason-wise, we went up to Scotland, had some fun. I did what I usually do. I clear the roster, let the assistant coach take care of everything, and everybody was having a good time. Fleetwood is one of my affiliates. Beershot came in and said, "Hey, we want to, we'd like to have a friendly ear place," and there was a decent amount of gap between those two, so I said yes. So against Tottenham, we did really well. Elise had a brace of goals. Anderson had a goal. It was 3-0 at the end of the first half, or it was 3-1 at the end of the first half. We had 9 shots, 6 on target. We had 2 off target, no woodwork hits, 1 clear cut chance, 2 half chances, decent possession advantage. We were better than them on tackling. They were a little bit better than us on headers won. The Liverpool game is a draw, but it really shouldn't have been a draw because Pellegrini missed a penalty kick. Tsimikas got sent off in the 60th minute on a second yellow card, and then Trent Alexander-Arnold got double yellowed within the space of 2 minutes. So for the last 5 minutes of the game, they were 2 players down, and we couldn't put the ball across the field. And it was really annoying. We had our chances, and for whatever reason, we just couldn't make it happen. Allison was on a 7-3. He really didn't have a lot of great saves, though. Henderson had some very nice defensive plays, but at the end of the game, we really should have won, but we had 14 shots and only 3 were on target. And it was a perfect opportunity to get 3 points on a very good squad, and we just absolutely muffed it. Facilities-wise, we're getting new youth facilities, we're getting new training facilities. The youth level is being increased to level 1. That'll happen end of next season, so it means not for this transfer window. I did get in some new scouts. We expanded the scouting department. I have to go back in and fix that. I have to reset the scouting again. I'll do that after this episode here. I've still got a couple slots left open, but we're up to 18 scouts now. And if I go here and do what I usually do, you'll notice some of them just don't have the nicknames on that tells me where they are. I had to take Nicky Butt off of the loans for now because, especially with Cervais, I had loan offers for him, and Butt would turn them down because they didn't meet his valuation of the player. And it's like, look, I don't care if it doesn't meet your valuation of the player. I want him out on loan. Let's get him out on loan. And I eventually took him off. It was the only way I was able to get a couple players out on loan. So let's get to the Euro draw, the Euro Cup draw, the Europa League draw, whatever they're calling it in the game or in real life now. Newcastle spent another $250 million. What on earth are they doing? Who do they bring in? Merit Demirel, Otavio. He's a defender whose technicals are good only where they count, really. Otavio is an advanced midfielder who is actually quite good. Polina is a defensive mid. Safanov is a goalkeeper from Krasnodar, 24 years old. And Joaquim Maley, the defender. He's a really good defender. Who did they move? They moved Mancini to Man City. Fun. Miranchuk went to Bournemouth. Jamal Lewis went to Brentford. And then last season, 127 out, 12. God, they spent an obscene amount of money. Because they got Mateta from us. They got Jared Bowen from us. So where's Mateta starting if they got Callum Wilson up top? Unreal. Register the team here real quick. And here we go. Where are we even seated? Seated in the third pot. Okay. So we've got Roma in Group A, Shakhtar in Group B, Dinamo in Group C, Dinamo Kiev in Group D, Bayern in Group E, Lazio in Group F, Arsenal in Group G, Sevilla in Group H. Zenit goes to Group A, Fenerbahce to Group B, Lask to Group C, Red Star to Group D, Braga? I was positive that's Braga to Group E, Trabzonspor to Group F, Feyenoord to Group G, and Basel to Group H. Molde goes to Group A. AZ goes to Group B. Borussia Mönchengladbach to Group C. We are in Group D with Red Star and Dynamo Kiev. Genk goes to E. Maccabi Tel Aviv to Group F. Rapid Vienna to Group G. And Lille to Group H. And then Aberdeen rounds out Group A. Bate rounds out Group B. Bilbao rounds out Group C. Ferencváros, they're a Hungarian team, rounds out Group D. Partizan to Group E. Rijeka to Group F. OGC Nice goes to Group G, and that leaves Slovan Bratislava in Group H. And we, an interesting group, and that's going to be Archer Wolf, because I just signed him from CSKA Moscow. And he's knowledgeable about that area, even though I don't have that in his name yet. Red Star. Okay, let's save the game here real quick. And then we'll do the press conference in that offline. It's an interesting group. Red Star is one of those good young Serbian teams with a bunch of quality youth players. Dynamo Kiev is a solid Ukrainian squad. Ferencváros, I think that's how you pronounce it. Ferencváros, I really don't know much about them. But the fact that they're, finishing second in the Hungarian division, fourth in the where did they finish last year? They won the league last year by freaking 23 points. So they got to be doing something right. They have an Ivorian striker who's looking really good, and then Ryan Mamei, who's from Morocco, who also appears to be very good. Yeah, we got our work cut out for us. Well, this is the squad we're going with today. Guehi's wanted now, apparently. He wasn't wanted through the entirety of the transfer window. Now, all of a sudden, Sheffield United wants him. And now, Jordan Clark, my young guy with potential, is wanted by Fleetwood on loan. But he's staying here because, as I mentioned earlier, he's going to be my primary striker backup. So, against City, we're going to start Baumann in goal. We have Admiral, Zagadou, Anderson, and Kasunu as the defensive back four. Riedewald and Seoni as the midfielders. Eze and Olise as the attack midfielders. Edward and Pellegrini atop as the striker. The reason I'm starting Baumann is because he's a little bit better than Iturbe, and especially against an opponent like Man City. I really want that. However, guys like Admirola and Kasunu, I'm starting because they're a little bit younger, and I want to get them playing time. Which, at the same time, doesn't really jive with what I say about Clark, but Clark will get playing time this game. Corner kick. De Bruyne sends it in. It's knocked away by Zagadou. Laporte runs down the ball, gets it to Grealish. Grealish drives right, cuts through the box, centers it to Sterling. It's knocked away. Cancelo recovers, drives forward, blows by the defender. Center zip. João Felix is there, and he scores. I wish I know who cleared that to Cancelo. And I wish I knew why Eze was stuck standing still as Cancelo went right by him. Laporte misses the header right. Told my guys to focus. Now they're all upset. We've had 2 shots, none on target. De Bruyne sends the corner kick in again. Grealish hits the post and it goes out of bounds. Ruben to Sterling to Cancelo. Cancelo back to Sterling to Grealish. Mbappe's there, but it's knocked away. Zinchenko gets it to Grealish. Feeds Mbappe, who puts it near post for the second goal of the game. Was he offsides? Didn't look like he was offsides. Yeah, just shy of 60 minutes. There have been no highlights so far. So we're going to switch Edward and Pellegrini. We're going to get Pellegrini off and bring on Clark. We're going to get Eze off and bring on Verscheren. Except I put Ferguson there. And bring on Verscheren. And we're going to save our last sub for now. Kasuno on the throw-in to Elise. To Seone. Gives the ball away. Foden. Back and forth. De Bruyne to Laporte. He bombs it forward. Kasuno knocks it down, but it goes right to Foden. Foden drives forward, gets the ball to Mbappe, and Kasuno fouls him. He's off. That's his second yellow card. Pull Riedewald off, bring on Ferguson. Move Seone over to the middle. Baumann to Anderson, back to Baumann. Gives the ball right back to De Bruyne. Foden to Mbappe. He skies it high and right. Elise is on a 6-2. Edwards on a 6-2. Admiral is on a 6-3. You know, I'm just going to have to live with it, especially if I want the young guys to play. Grealish to Farron. Farron holds it up, gets it to Sterling. João Felix is there, but it bounces off a Palace player and goes out of bounds. And that's the game. Well, part of me says I should be happy we held them to 2, but with 24 shots, 10 on target, and a man down the last few minutes of the game, they could have gotten a lot more. It was some good defending on our part that saw us through. But, yeah, this... I have to say something to the squad I really don't want to say to keep their morale up. It's kind of a bummer. Rafa Benitez is at Shakhtar. Who'd have thought? So let's take a look and see what's happening next schedule-wise. I know the cup games have come in. So, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to play West Brom, Dynamo Kiev, and Fulham offline. And we'll come back for Leeds. We'll skip the Leicester game and then play Ferencváros. And then the next episode is probably going to be Brighton, skip Arsenal, play Red Star. And then just have a short break and come back for like Dynamo Kiev, Chelsea. And then depending on what's happening in the group stage, we may play Ferencváros again on the live comm. I like playing every team in our group as a let's play. At least show them in an episode at least once. I'll admit, I'm still kind of in shock over this transfer window. I was expecting to lose maybe 1 or 2 players, but losing the players we did, losing Bayandar was an absolute kick in the teeth. I wasn't ready for it. I'll be 100% honest with you. I was not ready to lose Bayandar. I figured I had him for at least another season. I am kind of hacked off about the Mateta one because I gave him the new contract offer, and the same day I submitted a new contract, Newcastle came in for him, and it's going to take a little while to get over. That's just going to be the long and short of it. At some point, I'm going to start just playing the 18-year-olds and the youngsters and just, whatever happens, happens. So, as long as we avoid relegation this season, I'll be fine. I know I promised them an upper table finish in that, and I would think our performance the past 2 years has given me at least some pull with the club, should anything untoward happen, at least in terms of our performance. So, yeah, it's... Have you ever been blindsided in a transfer window like that? If you have, leave a comment down below about it. Let me know what happened with you and how you recovered, if you ever did recover. The season's not gotten off to the best start. We're 1-1-1. Tottenham is not the same squad they used to be. They've still got some good players, but they are getting older. And we did good to beat them. Man City, we should have lost by a lot more. And we did well enough against Liverpool that should have been a victory, though, especially considering they were 2 men down with 5 minutes left. And the fact we couldn't score on them with that is just I hope it's not telling for the season. So, a very interesting summer, a very interesting start to the season. I do like our Europa group, though. I really think we have a chance to get out of the group stages there. So, that remains to be seen. And I'm not going to take anything for granted, especially after this offseason. So, if you did like what you've seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you have questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer those as fast as I can. My name is F. Angelico.